Hi crafters, this is Crafty Savvy and I'm here today to share a little bit of a different video today. So over the course of time I've been asked about how I coffee stain my papers, and I know there's a lot of videos out there that show how to do this, and a lot of good ones. And matter of fact, Nick the Booksmith has a really good tutorial on how she actually goes through the whole entire process, and mine is very similar to hers. So the issue I had, why I took so long to do this video, was because I think this kind of thing varies for everybody. We won't all have the same size tray. We won't all use the same amount of coffee, the same kind of coffee. In this case, it's going to be coffee. I'm not that great with tea dyeing, so so this is what I know. I just kind of do it to what suits me. So this is sort of the color that I get from how I do mine, and I'm pretty pleased with it. Not too dark, not too light. If I want to add more, I'll actually spray it out of my spray bottle, and I'll show you that after we're done here. And if I want to make marks or doilies, put doilies on it or that type of thing, then I'll take it a step further. But when I'm just coffee staining the paper overall, this is sort of what I do. So I use this aluminum tray, and it's quite a large tray. And so I won't be able to tell you how many cups of water or how much I use, but I could just show you sort of my process. So inside this large tray is really just some hot water, hot water from the sink. I didn't boil it. I didn't do anything special to it. If it's boiled and I have some, then I'll use it. Otherwise, it comes straight out of the tap, so nothing fancy. So I don't know, there's about ½ an inch of water in here. Not too much, just for these purposes, but maybe if I was doing a whole bunch, I might put about 1 inch of water in here. And the other thing is you don't have to go buying, you know, your $6, $7 jar of coffee for this. This is what I found anyways. Yeah, this is the cheapest of the cheap. Like, I spent $1 at the dollar store on this little jar of coffee, and it's instant coffee. Probably would never drink this, but you know, for this it's seems to be fine for me. So you know, quite literally I will just add my coffee to my water until I'm happy with the color. So oops, sorry, that's about 3. I'll just give that a stir. You know, the hotter the water, obviously the quicker the granules will break down. So since I started setting up, this is kind of cooled down a little bit, but we'll get the gist of it. 4, 5. And I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing that maybe a better quality coffee might darken this up a little quicker, maybe like a dark roast. I don't know. I'm just kind of going along with it. So I generally like my water to be sort of brown. Like this would be probably too light for what I would need. And I would add more hot water to this, but my sink is far away from me now. So we'll put another one in there. So anyway, I would let this let this sit a little bit, probably add some more hot water to it, and let it darken up. But for purposes of this video, we'll just kind of move right along, okay? So then what I would do is it depends now on what you're gonna coffee stain. In my hand, or right beside me here, I just have regular copy paper, the stuff that you put in your printer. That seems to be what I like to use the most when it comes to just creating regular pages. And then, you know, then there's all that good stuff like our, you know, vintage papers or ledger paper, you know, all that other great stuff that we use for our journals. You can do the same thing to it with this same mixture. Okay, well that's going to have to be good enough for right now. So I'm just going to see if I can move this a tiny bit. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is my new camera, guys, and my very first video with it. So we're going to see how this all goes. Okay, so I'm just going to take a sheet of this copy paper, and this is what I do. If you don't like to get all gooey and yucky, then you might want to wear a pair of gloves, but I don't care. So to the right of me, I have my old grungy cloth that I use for coffee staining set up there, and I just put a piece of paper over top of it because it's really hideous and I don't want you to see it. So I quite literally put my paper in there. I press it into the water. This is riveting stuff, eh guys? And this side too. I actually kind of like when the grains are stuck to the paper. So you could either let it sit a little, it depends on, like I said, the deepness of the color that you want for your own pages. Whoops, sorry to jiggle you there. But this would probably be, you know, pretty good for me. So I would then just take my paper and place it over here to dry. Generally, I leave my pages out to dry. I just let them dry on their own. If I'm in a bit of a rush, I'll take my heat tool to it, or your blow dryer, or whatever you have, just to get it going a little faster. And I'm pretty content with that. So that's basically it for how I coffee stain the paper. I'm not going to do a bunch now because I don't have the room. So I'm just going to move this over here. Okay, so like I said, pretty basic. I just, you have to use your own discretion, in terms of the coloring that you like, so that you can find your ratio of water and coffee. So like I said, this is quite a big tray, so I put about a ½ an inch of water from the bottom up, and I guess the hotter the better, just to help break down your coffee. And then you add the coffee to the color that you like. Like I said, this was a little bit light for me, but I'll probably darken it up and do a few more pages once the camera's off. So so that's that. The other thing I wanted to share with you in regards to how I coffee stain is, if I don't want to bust out all my stuff, and like, you know, sometimes I just, you know, take an afternoon or, you know, a Saturday or whatever, and I'll just do, you know, a few hundred pages, and that's what I do for the afternoon. But sometimes you just want that, you know, couple sheets. And in that case, what I do is I always have a little tiny spray bottle. I just got this at the dollar store, and I fill it up with a coffee mixture. Same thing, I just put hot water in there, or boiling water, whatever which, and I add coffee to however dark I like it. So there's two things that I do at this point. One is, if I want a sort of splotchy effect, I will very literally spray this on, just like that, and I will take my heat tool to it, and I'll dry it. So I'm not going to do that now, it's just too noisy and loud, but I will dry that with my heat tool. And then once that's basically dry, I turn it over and I do the other side. So that's if you kind of want to have this sort of splotchy effect. You know, you could put your doily down on it, spray it, dry it. It's totally up to you. Sometimes I don't want just a complete brown sheet. I want some texture and, you know, something different on it. So that's another thing I do. Also, if I need a few sheets and I want them sort of to match the complete brown ones that I have, then I will, at this point, I will take my paper, spray it just like this. I'll take my spongy brush. This is just those dollar store ones. And I'll just, you know, rub that coffee into there. Okay, so my new camera, guys, is I have to use my phone. So I got my phone set up so I can see what I'm doing, because the Garmin doesn't allow you without your phone to see what you're doing. So it's a little bit awkward, but we'll see how it goes. So far I like it. So anyway, so that's what I do. I will make it nice and smooth, and I'll hit it with my heat tool. I'll heat it up really good, dry it up. And if it's not dark enough, you can always apply more. You can see how it gets darker. You could rub it out at this point like this, or you could even just leave it. Looks really nice with the spots. So, so that's just another way that I coffee stain my papers. So whether you have the time or you don't, there's always a way that you can achieve these looks, you know, relatively quickly. So, that's about it, you guys. Easy peasy, nothing, no rocket science here. And I hope this helps those of you who were asking. I wish I could offer you a little bit better information in terms of, you know, ratios and that kind of thing. But like I said, you know, will probably never have the same tray that it's in, or, you know, only thing I can tell you is in this tray, I probably put, I'm just guesstimating now, it was probably about 6 cups of water, more or less, maybe 5. And then how much coffee did I put in there? I don't even remember. Do you guys remember? Was it 4 spoons? Something like that. But for me, that wasn't dark enough. So I'll probably darken it a little bit more. Like I said, you could also try different kinds of coffee. I've tried other ones before and I don't really remember the outcome. I think to me, it's just all the same. So the other thing I just wanted to mention is, if you're going to coffee stain your papers and you're kind of hoping to make, you know, a couple journals at least, make enough pages with that same batch. Make sure that you have enough, because they're not all going to match, and that might not be a big issue for you either. But for me, I like sort of consistency, so I would probably make enough anyway that you can stain as many pages as you're going to need that are required for the journals or journals that you're going to make, or whatever project. And probably that's my only bit of advice. Anyway, so again, I hope this helps a little bit. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back with a few more videos. I have a haul and some fabrics and things I'm really excited about. And so hopefully I can get to those soon and put them up, okay? So hope you guys are all well, and we will talk to you all real soon. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.